All right, tonight's games on Gitsapalooza are brought to you with the kind consideration and help of the Labyrinth Games in Baraboo, Wisconsin. Hello everyone and welcome to Gitsapalooza. Today, my friend Justin and I are going to be playing Ryoto, 50 Rice, his cult versus my Tengu. You can see our table setup right here. Got some new area of control objectives that you guys saw me make a little earlier for the tournament. And we'll try them out since I haven't had a chance to use them yet. So we'll be back in a moment with the armies. Thanks. Hey everyone, let's take a look at the Tengu for the day. We have 50 Rice starting with Ryohobo with Hotai's Coin, Itsubo, which is one of the newer models, Hakusabo, my Giant Eagle, Ryohobo who had a wing failure, and finally Zenkibo. And then I have Spirit Trap, Hotai's Blessing, Deflection, and I'm running the Wind Watcher's theme. So, not quite my usual army. I know it's close. I don't have that many figures painted, so they all kind of look alike. However, I did leave Torobo off the list and added Itsubo and Hakusabo. Of course, Bizenbo's not on the list either. So basically, I took the archers off and just gave a couple of more sword and board or you know, polearm guys. And we'll see how it goes. Here we are with Justin's cult. Justin, why don't you take us through it?
Okay, so I am running a theme list of Death and Decay.
Okay.
All right, which restricts me to Gong, Yurei, Birakumen, and Swarms.
Okay.
Okay, so I got it starting out with a large rat swarm. All right. Followed by Gong.
Sure.
KO the Puppet Master. Yurei Firemer. And then I got Senshiro, Gengo, and a Kairai Militia. Now, because I took the theme list, I gained an additional Kairai for free. It costs fiberless, so I am taking the additional militia.
Nice. All right. Here we are at the end of turn one. Both of us have moved forward pretty aggressively. I've thrown pretty much everything at the center with my eagle in the middle to take up enough space to keep everybody else out. He's got Gok and the giant rat swarm threatening, and all the other players are over here on his 1 point objective. I do have Hakusabo on mine just so I can reap that point. So we'll see how things go at the end of turn one, or turn two. Hey folks, we're back after turn three, and it was a pretty good turn for me, so we'll zoom in and I'll show you what happened. Mainly, everything happened in this area. My eagle, and so Kitenbo went into Gok and did some pretty good damage, but also took some pretty good damage. And then the eagle and Itsubo over there and Hakusabo all ganged up on the giant rat and killed the giant rat. And then there was a little bit of maneuvering, and which opened Gok up, and Kitenbo hit him again and did another good chunk of damage to Gok. And then Hakusabo with his second move came in and hit Gok in the flank and finished him off. So luckily for me, I got rid of both Gok and the giant rat swarm, while not sustaining any casualties myself. However, now we have this swarm of zombies who can all resurrect, and we've got Kato the Puppet Master, who is a pain in the tuchus. So there's, you know, it's great that I got rid of those 2 big point models, but these, you know, I've played the cult enough to know how big of a hassle these guys can be, even some of the cheaper models. So, you know, we'll see how it goes, but I'm definitely, you know, looking good at this point. So the score after round 2, I had 5 points because I had the center and the 1 point model, or the 1 point objective in round 1. And then in round 2, I abandoned this to get Hakusabo over where he could do some damage. So I had 2 points. So I had a total of 5. Justin had a total of 2, so the first victory point went to me. We'll see how things go from here, and we'll see you at the end of turn 3. Here we are at the end of turn 4. Let's take a look and see what's going on. There is a giant scrum in the middle of the table. That's what's going on. He has a zombie on his objective. I have the eagle on mine. And then in the middle of the table, there is just a giant series of combats going on. Everybody's kind of lined up one-on-one. Nobody's doing a lot of damage to each other. However, I did get to Kato. Unfortunately, not before Kato spawned the marionette, which is represented by that base there on the right. So, at the end of this turn, I still hold the center, and I'm ahead 3 points to 1. However, with Kato, you never know who I'm going to lose. And, you know, I definitely have the advantage, but I still think things are in play. You know, the zombies can be really irritating if they don't actually die when you kill them, and they can really muck things up. So we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, here we are. This is actually turn 4. I know I said last turn was turn 4, but it was only turn 3. So Justin has called it. The Tengu were just kind of slowly moving forward and munching through them, and even though I hadn't done a lot of damage to this point, I managed to sneak Ryu Hobo around over here onto his objective, which would have been worth 3 points for me. So he had to deal with him. He had exhausted Itsubo, and Kato had exhausted Itsubo along with the marionette. So he tried to get disengage Kato from an exhausted big bird right there so he could bring Kato over. And unfortunately, those were the dice rolls. The white dice are my attack die, and the purple die were his defense die. So I basically, and then I rolled damage, so I got a 7 on the 7, which is 7 points, which was enough to do Kato in. So at this point, there's you know, he's had enough. My dice rolling tonight in the 2 games I played has been very good, and both, you know, Justin's dice and Tyler's dice were not behaving at all. So anyway, so I get a little happy time with my army, so that's always good. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time on Gitsapalooza.